waiting for my 12-week follow-up appointment, and the waiting room is completely empty, which is rare here. Wow. Both feet in the boot. So I've already had my x-rays. In the tiny living room, waiting. Hi guys, and welcome to CRPS Diaries. Again, it's been a minute, but I usually come on when I just have an update for you guys and what's been going on. As you can see behind me, just one of the many medical supplies that I've got going on right now. See if I can get my camera to show you. Sorry guys, the knee scooter I've got going on. That's just in one room, the room I'm sitting in. Then I've got my power wheelchair, I've got crutches, I've got air casts, yeah, like a lot of medical equipment. And this ended up, this walker has armrests on it, so I ended up not being able to use a regular walker because the arthritis in my everywhere in my joints, but it took out my wrists in a day. So I needed a armrest walker, and I have armrest crutches as well, which are mine. This is borrowed from home care, but everything else in this house is owned. It's like, oh my gosh. So last time I saw you, or last time I did the vlog, I had like, I think my 4-week follow-up after Haglunds surgery and Toe Refusion. I have since had my 12-week follow-up, 12-week and 4-day follow-up. So there's a bit to tell you. Good news is I'm out of the boot, and you know, walking with a lot of pain, but walking on my right foot and now. And the bad news is I had a terrible physiotherapist, like terrible. He set me way behind, and the doctor is really not happy. The doctor, in not these exact words basically, but basically told me to fire him, because he kept me non-weight bearing and in a boot for way too long and didn't give me hardly any exercises to do. And I was begging him to give me exercises and telling him that my surgeon was going to want to see me further than this. Like, one of the first things my surgeon said when I went in for the 12-week is, why are you still in a boot? You know? And so I had to tell him, my physiotherapist told me I should only be partial weight bearing and stay in a boot till I see you. And I told him, like, I've been asking him for exercises and he hasn't given me many. And the ones I do have, I had to beg him for. I had to pull it out of him. So, when I left that appointment, I let a couple days pass, like a weekend and whatnot, and I called home care. And when you're using home care, you don't know what you can do and what you can't without losing home care, right? Like, I have a home care physiotherapist come into my home because I haven't been able to drive or walk on either foot. So you don't want to be complaining, but when they're doing nothing for you, and not only that, they're setting you behind, you got to do something. Like, this walker too he gave me was in really bad shape, not safe to use. And I told him, and what he said to me is, oh, your husband should be able to fix it. It's not his job. My husband did fix it because I needed it. On top of that, when he very first came to bring the first walker, he was supposed to bring the first walker to me, he came and totally forgot the walker. And that's what he was coming for. And he didn't give me any physiotherapy exercises to do. And he's like, well, can I come another day with the walker since I forgot today? I said, no, I need it now. And I made him go get it. So there's all sorts of things going on with him. I'm just trying to think of others. There was a bunch of things that he was just clueless or something, or just didn't want to do anything. I don't know. But anyway, I ended up reporting all this to his manager, like the whole whatever had been going on, because my surgeon was not happy with the whole situation, didn't want me to continue with him. And she told me it would take a couple days, and I heard back from her yesterday, and she said, like, I'd asked for a different physiotherapist, and she said, you know, when I first talked to her, she said, I can't promise that because we're short on people. And I said, all right. And, you know, when beggars can't be choosers, you know, when you're using home care, you don't have a choice who you get or whatnot. So anyway, she called me back yesterday. She said they're going to be sending me a new physiotherapist, and that they've decided, they had a meeting and they decided that that was best. And I'm like, okay, but what was going on with my physiotherapist? Like, why wasn't he doing what I needed done? Why was he giving me unsafe equipment? Why, you know, and refusing to fix it and forgetting to bring things and just all this stuff? Like, it was insane. She's like, oh, we've just chalked it up to a misunderstanding. And I said, really? I said, and she said, his reason for not giving me more exercises was I said I was in pain. Well, yeah, I'm in pain because I had surgery. That's what physiotherapy's for, to help me get out of that pain and get back on my feet. And I begged him to get me going, to get, you know, show me what to do. I was just shaking my head. I said, a misunderstanding. I said, I told him my surgeon was going to want me further along. He was going to expect me to be walking at the next appointment. I knew it. And he was. And she said, well, we've just chalked it up to a misunderstanding. Well, a misunderstanding with broken, unsafe equipment that he's brought me, and forgotten to bring me other stuff when that's the only reason he was coming. I'm just shaking my head. I hope the new one is better. I have no idea even when I'm going to hear from her. They said, we don't know when you'll get her. It's a female this time, and it's been made clear in the meeting that communication is important. Well, I was communicating, you know, they weren't doing their job. This dude wasn't doing his job. So anyway, I knew she would protect him, and I knew that he would twist things on me because he had done it with the last misunderstanding. So we've had, so you can't win with the medical system. Speaking of which, actually, I'll come back to that. I'll come back to the medical system because there's an update there too. So back to my heel, I'm set behind because of all this, but I am forcing myself to do walking, and I'm doing whatever exercises I pulled out of the physiotherapist, plus some I'm trying to figure out on my own. I can't do all the regular exercises that most can for, you know, Achilles recovery because my toes are fused, so I can't be up on my tippy toes, and I can't, you know, I have CRPS, so I can't stand on my left foot for long. That's the other foot. And what I don't think I've told you is that CRPS is now in my right foot as well. So it spread from the Achilles tendon surgery. It's in my heel, so there's also that to consider. Bad news for sure, but what can I do? It's the risk I had to take. My Achilles was damaged, so, and that it was Haglunds Deformity surgery that I had on that, and then my toe also rebroken and refused because it had healed crooked. So also, if you've watched my videos, you know I've been having ongoing trouble with my toenail toe. Like my big toe, I've had a partial toenail removal and some burning, so part of my toenail wouldn't grow back. I've had a full toenail removal, And then in my last surgery, he clipped the corners of my toenails because I was still infected. And so after he's done that, in this last 12 weeks, I've still been battling like crazy infection. Like I was put on antibiotics for 2 weeks, which kind of stopped the infection for a time, like shortly after for a time, but now it's coming back. The corner of my toe where there is no toenail is completely raw and open. So I think I'm having a tissue reaction of some sort, could be CRPS related. It's like hyper painful, hypersensitive, and it's setting me back in my recovery because I can't put weight on that toe. So I'm fighting so hard to not have to have another procedure because I'm probably looking at, well, I don't think it's my toenail. I think it's a tissue reaction. So I'm probably looking at having to have debridement and maybe some tissue excised again. I had that with one of the removals as well, some excised tissue. It is not getting better no matter what I do, letting the air at it, soaking it in Epsom salts, putting hydrogen peroxide on it, putting antibiotic cream on it. Nothing is getting this thing better, and it's so painful and it's hindering my recovery. But neither the doctor nor I want to go put me through another procedure because of the risk of CRPS spread. Plus, I've been through so much. So basically, I said to the surgeon, I'm just going to see how I do out of the boot, because I wondered if my toe not being able to breathe in the boot was causing it to continue. Well, I've been out of the boot long enough to know that actually it's getting worse, not better. So, I'm going to need another procedure again, but getting rides, like my husband can't take off more work, and I would have to be heavily sedated or put out to have this done because I can't stand the pain with CRPS and recovering from this surgery. I can't, so that's going to set me back in walking again too if I have to. It already is anyway. So yeah, those are the bad news things. My toe is still reacting really bad, and I have now CRPS in my right foot as well. I can't catch a break. I'm telling you guys, I feel like I'm losing my mind at times. Like if I don't laugh, I'll cry. I never imagined when I started my surgery journey over close to 3 years ago now, that I'd still be in it. And I'm in the system to have an endoscopy done because I'm having serious GERD issues again. And I've already had surgery for that, and I think that has either come undone or slipped, and the hiatal hernia, I'm pretty sure, is back, and I don't know what I'm going to do if that's the case, because the only fix is another surgery, and it's a big one. It will put me in the hospital for a couple days, and I won't be able to eat solid foods for weeks. I don't know how much more I can take. So anyway, circling back, this is going to be a long video because it's been a while since I recorded. Circling back to the medical system, I wanted to update you because back a few blogs I had told you that I've been dealing with the hospital and reporting all the damages, neglect, and abuse that I've been dealing with throughout these surgeries, none of which are from my surgeon, just to clarify. It's all the aftercare and anesthesiologists and nurses, and just absolute neglect and abuse. Sent me home with a spinal fluid leak is for one instance. Sent me home with burns on my face after surgery, another instance. Sent me home with eye damage, another instance. All blown off. Absolutely blown off. I think I have some neurological issues from the spinal fluid leak now too. forgetting to give me meds that are crucial for me, giving me meds that I'm allergic to. It just, the list goes on. I have, been dealing with the hospital for like close to a year now in reporting this. And in my last conversation with the go-between I have to talk to, I found out that she wasn't really taking me fully seriously. And I guess something clicked in her this time around, and she started to take me seriously. I don't know what changed, but in the meantime, prior to that, I had gotten 2 apology letters, one from an anesthesiologist and one from some nurses, which you think would be good news, but wasn't, because they gave the wrong anesthesiologist heck. It was the wrong anesthesiologist that apologized, sent an apology, and the wrong nurses. So then I had to call them back and say, you guys gave the wrong people heck. Like, you called the wrong people. So then, long story short, she started to take me seriously. I said, you've got dates wrong, you've got people wrong. Can you please apologize to the people that shouldn't have gotten in trouble that did? It's just crazy. So I ended up spending hours and hours and hours writing out everything. Dates, who did my surgery, who neglected or abused me, the surgery I had, the times, everything. I typed out everything and sent it in to her. And she said she doesn't usually do this for people, which tells me she doesn't usually take many people seriously. But she said she would, she asked me to do that, and she would take it to the head honchos. And I said, so how long is that going to take now? I said, I need a couple days to spend going through everything and writing it all out, typing it all out. But how long is it going to take once it gets to you? She said, I don't know. And I said, can I have the name of your head honcho, please? Because I would like to talk to them myself. And she said, oh, I can't divulge that information. I'm like, you're kidding me. Like, I've got all this going on and I'm not allowed to talk to the heads of the hospital? She said, well, we're in the midst of changing, leads. And I'm like, okay, well, who are you reporting my stuff to now? I want to talk to them. And she said, I can't divulge that information to you. Interesting. So in my notes to them, in my letter to them, I put, I want to talk to somebody. I want to be taken seriously here. And particularly as a woman up here, we are not taken seriously. So we'll see what comes of it. But I had a lawyer who was interested in possibly taking my case, but the hospital took so long. The lawyer's now moved on to a different, he's no longer with the company, with the firm, so I can't find him now. Doesn't mean I can't find another one if I decide to go that route. But I also had to literally demand to have the apology letters in hand. Like, they didn't offer to give them to me. And when I asked for them, she said, I don't know if I can do that. I said, they're my letters. I said, like, I'll bet you the letter from the anesthesiologist is just like a generic letter that he signed. And she said to me, you can't prove that. And I said, right. That's why I need the letters. And all of a sudden she went quiet, realizing I don't have any proof, if I get a lawyer. Well, I ended up with the letters. I don't know how I got her to do it, but I did. And it's a good thing I did, because they gave the wrong people heck. So I was able to go back to her and say, these are the wrong people. Oh my word, it has been a nightmare. I wish I could come on here with some good news, but this is literally my life every day lately. I'm just tired, guys. I'm very tired. So anyway, I'll let you know when I see the new physiotherapist, and hopefully she'll be better than the old one. It's hard when you don't have a choice. And I'll let you know what I decide to do with my toe, or what is going on with it. They've never cultured it or anything to see what the heck is causing this. And when there was a toenail there, yeah, I can see it causing it, but there's no toenail where this issue is now. It's just a tissue, it's infection and a tissue reaction. So I'll like update you when I can, and maybe I'll try and update you with the progress of my physiotherapy when I actually get some decent physiotherapy. Sorry this is so long. I planned to only do a few minutes, but I guess there was a lot to tell you. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Let me know how you deal with neglect and abuse in the medical system and being blown off. Like, I'm learning to advocate for myself. I don't have a choice. Literally, if I want to stay alive, even, I don't have a choice. I'm learning not to be afraid of standing up for myself, which is, I guess, a good positive that has come out of this. I'm just so angry and frustrated now that I'm done with nice. So I still talk to them kindly, but I'm firm and I stand my ground, and I don't let them blow me off. So let me know how you're doing with your CRPS. Mine is up and down. I've got so much going on. I don't know what hurts more right now. Both feet turn really, really purple and swell when they're down, and both are hard to walk on, and my heel is hypersensitive where I had the Achilles tendon surgery. Like, I have the allodynia in it, and the burning, and the whole deal. So let me know how you cope. And like I've said, the good that's come out of it is I've learned to stand up for myself better in the medical system. There is hope. Hope is a good thing. I'll see you in the next one.